People, welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and we are back, people, on Christmas Eve. So 2 days away from Christmas. Make sure you finish that shopping off, get that food in, people, because I'm telling you now, people are running wild in them shops right now. The traffic is crazy. But anyway, big up to everyone locked in. It's Arsenal, so of course, you know, we've just won an important game at the weekend. We've scored a lot of goals. Everything should be rosy in the garden, people. But as I said, it's Arsenal, people. So it ain't rosy in the garden, let me tell you. I should be coming on here today saying, yo, we beat Palace, blah, blah, blah. But Liverpool were ferocious yesterday. I did the watch along. I'm looking at them going, I'm not sure we catch them for the rest of the season, but you never know. We've got to keep hope. Never mind. You know, it's football. Stranger things have happened. Then I'm getting ready for the show today. Oh, you know, we'll talk about the game. And then I'm going online and I'm like, okay, he's done the press conference today. I didn't even know that, Mikel Arteta. Oh, and he said that Sterling's injured and Saka's injured. And also now reports are coming out of how long Saka's going to be out for. And this Monday show is not looking so great after all. I was going to come on here like it's the most wonderful time of the year and start doing all of that. I said Saka's out for how long? Boom. But I said, yo, when the game finished, I was saying, let's hope he's just twinged it and he's out for maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks? You wait till I show you what they're saying on screen shortly, people. You ain't seeing Saka for the foreseeable future, let me tell you that. And somehow, Raheem Sterling's got injured despite the fact he hardly kicks a ball for us. How's he got injured? Was he in a rave, you know, dancing? What the hell's he... How's he got injured? We're going to talk. Arteta is the Grinch that stole Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to watch Home Alone, get my food out, put my feet up, get my cartoon slippers on. I think I've got some Homer Simpson slippers. You know, Christmas, you just... It's that time, innit? Relax yourself. Enjoy yourself. And I got to talk about injuries and players being out. Man said he's injured from twerking. I don't know what this guy's been doing. He might have been out with Kivior's wife. And injured him. How the hell's he injured his knee? What's he doing? Anyway, let's talk. It's beginning to look a slot like Chris. Yo, that's a banger. The Liverpool fans were all singing that yesterday. The car park, I'm telling you. He probably walked in. Sterling was at Uptown Mondays and was doing drift and pulled the army. Arteta said Havertz can play there. We know that Havertz can play anywhere, right? When it comes to this manager. Anyway, listen, I want to say happy Monday to the community. Thank you for the support over the weekend. We did Liverpool Tottenham. We did Usyk Fury. We did Arsenal Palace. Great numbers. Really appreciate your support. As I said, before we get into today's show, and I start telling you about these injuries, remember, we're doing a giveaway. And I did say yesterday, but I'll remind you all today. So after this show finishes, I'm going to put a post on the community page, just confirming the details of the prize. All you've got to do is subscribe to this channel, which you should be. If you're not, you're an absolute disgrace. Follow Comma V on either Twitter or Instagram. And comment on the post that I'm going to put up. The only reason I'm doing it, we've got 85,000 subscribers. It's automatically generated who wins the prize. I don't want it to pick somebody, then I contact them, then they say, oh, by the way, I live in Australia, I can't make the game. So when I put that community post out, comment on it if you can attend the game. Just to remind you, I've got 2 VIP tickets, £450 each, to Arsenal against Ipswich on the 27th of December, 2 days after Christmas. It's an 8:15 kickoff at the Emirates. And you've got to be 18 or over. The winner's got to be 18. You can take a child with you if you've got a son, daughter, whatever. Comment on that post. It will automatically generate the winner, and we will announce it on Christmas Day on the pre-recorded video. So there you go. Don't say I don't give nothing to the community. You've supported the channel. You watched a blank screen for 45 minutes against Palace. 2 VIP tickets, food, drink, executive box, leather seats, Arsenal Ipswich. Bish, bash, bosh. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. There we go. Anyway, That's the good news. That's the good news. Big up Tashik, who's gifted a Curtis Shaw TV membership. Big up your damn self. Big up, big up, big up. One love, say Trent and VVD. Nah, we don't wish injuries, man. I don't wish injuries on players, man. Trust me. I don't wish injuries on players. I don't. Do you know what? I don't want Arsenal. I want Arsenal to win a title that you're at your best, we're at our best, and we're better than you. You know when people say, yo, we'll win the league when Pep goes. I want to win the league while Pep's here because, it's like winning the 100 metres and Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin, Asafa Powell, all of them are out and you won the 100 metres. You got to win it while everyone's there. Yeah, great prize. We're giving back to the community for Christmas, man. And listen, it's Arsenal versus Ipswich. We should win that game, so at least you'll see a few goals. But nah, man, I don't, people wishing injuries on players, man. I'm not on that. I want us to, if we're not good enough to win, then that's our problem at the end of the day. Everyone said when City fall off, we'll clean up. City have fell off, and we're not cleaning up. So I'm looking at Arsenal rather than looking at players getting injured. I tell you, I've said before, people, I'll never joke about injuries on footballers. I just won't. I've been injured in football, and psychologically, it's very difficult. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about injuries. And Saka, we're in big trouble. According to reports, Bukayo Saka has torn people, not twinged, not strained. Bukayo Saka has torn his hamstring, is expected to be out for at least 8 weeks. Damn. Do I just end the stream now, people? 8 weeks of no Saka, at least. And by the way, 8 week hamstring injuries. I strained my hamstring. I was out for 2 weeks. You have to be very careful. It was 2 weeks. I didn't come back for about 3.5 weeks because they do not want to rush it. So 8 weeks, I mean, let's put that in perspective. You're probably looking, Niffin, you're spot on. You're probably looking at 10, 11. This is a disaster. Make no mistake about it. This is an absolute disaster. Not a strain, not a twinge. He's torn it. You could see he was struggling. He left the ground on crutches. He's in a bad way. And if I expand on the story, by the way, people, they're actually saying here, Team News and Tickets, who's usually pretty good, on Saka's injury, people are now reporting it will be 8 weeks. I'm told that is a bare minimum, and the likelihood is we won't see him until March. Happy Easter. You ain't seeing Saka till March, people. Damn. It's no joke. This is no joke, people. But don't worry, we got Raheem Sterling on loan in the summer. So, experienced right winger, league winner. Go and do a job on the right-hand side for us, Raheem. And, look after that right-hand side until Saka comes back. Experienced player. No problem. I'm not panicking. Raheem Sterling. Oh, what was that, Mikel? Raheem Sterling will also be out for weeks. He suffered an injury. It's his knee. He will be assessed again in the next days to understand how long he will be out. Oh. I mean, let's go back to the main event, though. Bukayo Saka out until March. I mean, let's just say one thing first of all. Raheem Sterling. I always say I've got this little box of categories of players. The worst players that I've seen, Renarsson, Almunia, Lichtsteiner, Cole Jenkinson. I've also got this worst loans that we've ever seen at Arsenal as well. In that box is, Dennis Suarez, Kim Kallstrom, those kind of guys there. I think we can safely say Raheem is probably going to go into that category. The best thing that Raheem Sterling's done since joining Arsenal is the introduction video. I was actually hyped when I saw that video. Apart from that, I don't think I've been hyped the whole time. From anything, really. Raheem the Dream. Raheem the Nightmare. It can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Beyonce settings, I told you, we can rap Mobb Deep. We can sing Bob Marley. We can throw out Beyonce if we have to. It's been a disaster class. I'm telling you, the only reason they signed Raheem Sterling because they had that Jamaica tracksuit coming out near Carnival. They knew what they were doing. The PR, the promotion was perfect. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Now, I thought we saw positives in Martinelli's game on the right the other day. But, let's be real, man. It's not Bukayo. It's not Bukayo. So, there's going to be a problem there. There is going to be a problem there. That is for sure. We've been linked with a couple of players today as potential solutions. And we're going to talk about them as well. And I want to get your thoughts and opinions on these players. Arsenal being linked with 2 wingers today as potential replacements for Bukayo Saka. The face says it all. I mean, look at his face. He knew he was in trouble straight away. He knew. Saka back in March for people just tuned in. Realistically, that means Trossard and Martinelli. Martinelli on the right. Trossard on the left. Jesus through the middle, but then you know this guy will force Havertz in the team somewhere. Yeah, I mean, Kimani, you know what? With you saying that name, how did we not sign Neto in the summer? How did we not get Neto? I'm going to move on quickly and talk about the 2 wingers that we're being linked with for January. So far, we're being linked with these 2 wingers. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to bring you the 2 wingers that we're being linked with today. I can see some of the names that you're asking for, but we'll get to them. Arteta can't win trophy said, wait, I thought the squad was fixed. Arteta out. Yeah, 1 player gets injured and we're in crisis mode. Tammy said this season is a write-off. It's been written off, people. Let me tell you, it's a Cat D vehicle. You know what I'm saying? When you draw at home to Everton, draw at home to Brighton, lose to Bournemouth. You watched Liverpool yesterday. We know what time it is. Hope, we win the league. Belief, we're not winning the league. Reality of the situation. But as I said to you people, I want you to all to have a great Christmas. Don't let Arsenal ruin your Christmas. Big up Michael Gadzinski, who said, Merry Christmas, Big C, and the whole community. Big up yourself. Want to say Happy Christmas to everybody in the community. Have a great time. Don't let Arsenal ruin your Christmas or whoever you support. And let's have a great 2025. Amaru said, worrying times, but wishing you, crews, and the community a Merry Christmas. Filled with warmth. Was back home for a few days in Sierra Leone. Should have linked up with Robbie and them, man. He's still over there, I think. Enjoyed some sun, though. It was delightful, but I'm now back. Thank you for 2024, Big C. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. Very kind words, and appreciate the support of this community each and every day. Big up your damn selves, people. We're being linked with 2 wingers today. And I want your opinion on these wingers and whether you would do this or not. Personally, I'm more in favour of one of them than the other. And we're going to discuss it. They're 2 players that we've spoken about before. Not too many of you are saying them in the comments. It's not Mohamed Kudus, right? Mohamed Kudus has an £80 million release clause. Let's be real, people. Do you see Arsenal dropping 80 million in January? It is not going to happen, right? So I'm going to give you the 2 names that we're being linked with. The first name is... Are you ready for it, people? Are you ready? And I'll let you know right now, it's not Marcus Rashford. The first one. Ooh. Brian Mbeumo. BBC Sport reporting Arsenal are interested in a potential January move for Brentford winger Brian Mbeumo. It's believed that they would let him go for a price of around £45 million in January. He's 25 years of age, although he looks about 35. And he scored 10 goals this season. Listen, people, don't shoot the messenger. Do you know what? Let's get a poll up. I'm going to put a poll up for each of these two players. In fact, I'll wait until I've said both of them, and then you tell me which one you would rather take. Bryan Mbeumo. Now, I've said many times, I don't want him, right? I think he's a decent player, Cameroon international. You can't turn your nose up. The guy's got 10 goals in 17 games. You know what I mean? He's actually a good goal scorer. I mean, when I'm looking at it, I think he would be our top scorer. I don't think anybody at Arsenal's got 10 goals. He's got 10 goals. Saka's got 5. So, you know, maybe I'm being a snob. I think as a backup player, he's decent. Flex United standees and Mbeumo's brother. Yeah, X always throws that on him. Listen, I think as a backup player, he's decent, but I just don't. I don't know if I'm being a snob here, people. Talk to me in the community. Mbeumo. Would you take him? There's something, I just don't see him as an Arsenal level player, but maybe I've got to start being realistic. We're not going to drop 80, 90 million on a right winger in this window. Whatever winger comes to us as well has also got to realise, in 8 or 9, 10 weeks' time, Saka's going to be back. I might get dropped. So I don't know whether you're going to get an elite right winger to come to Arsenal knowing that Saka is coming in. I want to know your guys' opinion. Would you take Bryan Mbeumo for £45 million? As I said, looking at his stats, 10 goals and 2 assists in 17 games. He got 9 goals, 6 assists last season, so he's having his best season. 2 goals in 4 World Cup qualifiers for Brentford. 25 years of age, and it would tick boxes for Arsenal. He's on 45 grand a week. You know Arsenal like a bargain. I think he's a decent player. I just don't. I think I am being a snob. He doesn't excite me. Like, to me, and I know this isn't realistic, I feel like if we were paying 25 million for him, I'd be like, all right, do it. 45 million, I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But he's in good form. There's no doubt. And you're right, beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be. Does he win us trophies? No, says Joseph. I'd take him all day, says Ryan. Stephen said, I say yes. Output is great. The output is definitely great. He's getting better than 1 in 2. Stop being snobs, people. We always do this. The cost wouldn't impact the big chase for Isak in the summer. Yeah. Let me add some perspective. People saying because he's bold. Listen, Thierry was pretty much bold. He's the best player we've ever had. I suppose in reality of the situation, if Bryan Mbeumo is your second choice right winger, it is a good option, right? He's got 10 goals. He'll end up with 15 goals plus this season. But I will be honest, there is something about him that makes me think he's not Arsenal level. But yeah, maybe I am being a snob. He's 25, he works his socks off, and he's banging goals in, and he's proven in the league. But I suppose we've got to look at it like this. Our right wing option after Saka, the last 2 years, has been Reece Nelson, who, apart from the Bournemouth goals, done nothing really. And Raheem Sterling, who's been here for no reason apart from selling Jamaica merch. So, as a backup option, he is a good option. He could actually turn round, right? If you was going to defend him, he could turn round and say, listen, bro, at this moment in time, whether we like to admit this or not, he could turn around and say, I'm better than Martinelli and Trossard. I know they play on the opposite wing, but let's be honest, Trossard's looked drunk most of this season. 3 goals, 1 assist in 17 games for Trossard. He's having an awful season, really, for Arsenal. The Kung Fu Panda. And then Martinelli's got 4 goals, 2 assists. And most of the time has ran around like a headless chicken. So, you know, man's doing gumfinger celebrations. The snob in me says, no, he's not Arsenal level. But the realistic me says, for 45 million as a backup right winger, it's a decent option. Let's talk about part 2 to the link, and then we'll get the poll out. I'm going to be honest. Some of you might not like this, but I'm going for this guy over Mbeumo. Some of you might not be happy with this one, but I just am. I just am. You ready for it, people? Let's go. Part 2. And this is who we're being linked with. This ain't me making it up. This is who we've been linked with today, people. You ready? Oh, part 2 of the right wing replacement link, people. Are you ready? You know this guy before. You've seen him in the league multiple times. Leroy Sane. Leroy Sane, people. And look, the top line alone makes me want to sign him. Leroy Sane is not keen on a move to Manchester United. I mean, mate, I'm retired. I wouldn't be keen on a move to Manchester United. He would prefer a move to London and Arsenal if he does leave Germany. Apparently, £25 million. 6 months left on his contract. The only downside, £220,000 a week. Sane is 28 years of age. I'm sorry, for me, absolute no-brainer. I'm taking him every single day of the week over Bryan Mbeumo. People saying it's the Here Kane road tax. I'm taking him. I'm taking him. I mean, Black said he's washed up. He didn't look washed up last season as he was drifting past Kivior and then got pulled down for a penalty by Saliba. I don't watch him every week. I'm taking Leroy Sane over Bryan Mbeumo. 25 million, Leroy Sane. Leroy! Bring him to the carpet. City leftovers, but he left City on his own terms, people. He walked. Pep offered him a new contract. He was desperate for him to say. Right, let's get the poll up. These are the 2 links we've been linked with today. Right, so I'm just giving you the news that's out there today. I'm sure they'll throw out more names. Who would you rather sign? Who would you sign as right wing? Let's call it competition. Out of these 2 today, people, that we've been linked with. Leroy Sane or Bryan Mbeumo? Mbeumo or Mbeumo? How do you pronounce Donny's name? I don't even know. Competition. I'm taking Leroy Sane, but I don't want to influence the community. Mbeumo or Leroy? Bear in mind, Sane's 20 million cheaper, but he's older, he's more wages, and some people say he's not at his best anymore. Listen, I would give you a third option, but I don't want to make up links. They're the only 2 links that I've seen today, so, you know, we can talk about... Listen, let's be honest, right? Kudus can be got for 80 million in this window. People saying Nico Williams. I don't think Nico Williams will leave Bilbao mid-season. I think if you can get him, it would be at the end of the season. Draxler, geez, 2015 settings. Listen, one name that obviously I'm not mentioning that some of you have mentioned is that boy Marcus Rashford. But I just don't think United would allow him to go to an English club. So I don't see that. Sane will clash with Arteta just like Sterling and Willian. Maybe. I mean, he's worked with him before, but then Sterling's worked with him and that hasn't worked. What do you guys make of it? 25 million for Leroy Sane, but 220 grand a week. 45 million for Bryan Mbeumo, 45 grand a week. Which one would you rather take? I'm going Leroy Sane. I just think he's quicker, more dynamic, electric. I actually think Sane could get in Arsenal's team with everyone fit. When he's at blocking the pole, people saying they're blocking it. And Mbeumo is a wiser punch. Get in the poll, people. Let me know. Cunha can play. Well, Cunha's about to get banned, isn't he? I don't know how long for, but he was fighting with the Ipswich staff. LSU said, you're missing this. Let me read what you're saying. Difficulty is opportunity. Use this crisis to settle the left. Buy a class left winger. Substitute on the right with Martinelli, Jesus and Sterling. I think the problem we've got, LSU, is... And listen, I hear what you're saying. Fix the left and subsidise the right. We know Arteta wants Nico Williams. I don't think Nico Williams leaves mid-season. I just don't. He loves Bilbao. I think he will leave in a very respectful manner, which will be in the summer. There's still no guarantees we get him. He might end up at Barcelona, which has been where he said publicly he would go. And then players like Kvara at Napoli, I just don't see any of them leaving in January. So, another name a lot of you suggested that I think is possible is Semenyo from Bournemouth, who's having a good season. I think somebody said in the comments he's a boyhood Arsenal fan as well. We've heard that before. I mean, he's got 5 goals in 16 games. He got 8 goals last season, 24 years of age. I mean, he is looking good this season. That's another one that we could potentially add to it as well. Welcome, Marcus Rashford, says Jonathan. If this club is serious of signing Kudus, not happening in January, bro. I can tell you that. They ain't dropping 80 million on Kudus. If you're spending 80 million, it'll be in the summer. It'll be in the summer. Yeah, Bakayoko looked all right at PSV. Pat says sign Bowen or Kudus. I think Bowen will cost maybe more than 80 million English tax. Sign Musiala as Odegaard competition. The only time Arsenal are signing Musiala is Football Manager, mate, or FIFA. We ain't getting him. Whittle said, I'd take Mbeumo. Currently, Sane is not what he used to be. If this was 6 or 7 years ago, my answer would have been a lot different. And I hear that. Maybe Sane is not what he used to be. Bring back Marlon or Gnabry. Gnabry signed a long-term deal. Mudryk incoming. I probably think he would if he wasn't banned. Anyway, I'll leave the poll up. Just a reminder for everyone who's just tuned in case you've missed the headlines of today's show and you've tuned in a little bit later, people. Bukayo Saka set to be out for at least 8 weeks. It's believed he will not play until March. Absolute disaster for Arsenal on the back of a positive result. Bukayo Saka has torn his hamstring, expected to be out for at least 8 weeks. You're then looking at, getting him fit, getting his legs strong. You're looking at probably 10 weeks. You're not expecting to see him play for Arsenal until the start of March. And when you look at some of the fixtures that he's going to miss, we're going to be under a lot of pressure. Surely the club goes into the market. And as I said, the 2 wingers we've been linked with today, Brian and Mbeumo, Kinder Bueno, for 45 million from Brentford, and also Leroy Sane for 25 million in the last 6 months of his contract. So they're the 2 wingers we've been linked with today, people. Who would you rather take out of those 2? Just looking at some of the fixtures, I mean, going into January, Newcastle in the EFL Cup, Manchester United in the FA Cup, Tottenham in the North London Derby, Aston Villa, Girona, Manchester City, Newcastle in the second leg, Manchester United away. Well, that's the start of March. He might be back for that. He's going to miss some big games. Leroy Shaw. Yeah, man, the Kane Rose settings, man. I rate Sane. I've always rated him. I thought he still looked very dynamic and good against Arsenal in the Champions League. He ripped Kivior to bits, but I think most of us could probably rip Kivior to bits the way he defends, to be honest. So, are we recalling Reece? Reece Nelson out for 10 weeks, so we ain't recalling him. He's out until the end of February as well. So, anyway, in slightly brighter news, let's look back on the weekend's game, briefly break it down, player ratings, goal scorers, this, that, the other. This game seems like ages ago now. With all that's happened over the weekend, Manchester United getting battered, absolutely battered by Bournemouth in their own house. 3-0, 2 years in a row, 3-0 defeats for United. I think Amorim is realising how big a job he's got. And also, Man City lose again, which Man City losing just seems like normal work now. And obviously, we did the watch-along yesterday. Liverpool demolishing Tottenham. And listen, I'll be honest. I'm a realist. I always say hope and expectation are 2 different things. I don't think... I think Liverpool are winning the title this season. And I hope people don't think, oh, that's defeatist. And I will stay optimistic. I will watch every game in the hope that Liverpool will drop points here, there. And Liverpool will drop points. There's no doubt about that. The problem is we've seen in the last few weeks, Liverpool dropping points ain't the issue. We've dropped points at the same time. We don't seem to be able to take advantage of other people's misfortune. We're still in the race, but we got serious ground to make up. I think Arsenal have to try and win the domestic cups and have a good Champions League run. I think the Champions League is open for somebody to win it this year. The unfortunate thing is Liverpool, even in that, are probably the team that outside of Man City and Madrid you would say are the favourites because they're so good over two legs, so good at Anfield. 6 points, game in hand, better goal difference, key players coming back from injury. Salah, for me, is probably the most informed player, attacking player in the world at the moment. Where now Saka's out for 10 weeks. No squad depth to replace him. That's where my concern is. And we don't seem to be able to string 5 or 6 wins together. Seems to be win a couple, then draw, drop points. AMSN said, I kept saying the whole summer, sign a backup for Saka, and here we go again. Kroenke out. This club is a joke in a transfer window. Time and time again. It's the same story, bro. We've seen it year after year. One player gets injured, and we absolutely crumble, AFC 1404, Arteta is a fake. Get that guy gone. He's not happy. I like the Henry picture, man. Why always me? Said I've seen enough. Give me Mudryk and Nkunku on loan. Seriously, Kudus and Isak would solve a lot of issues in this team. And Mbeumo is better than Nelly and Trossard. I actually always liked Nkunku. I felt he's a player we should have gone for. Chelsea apparently could be letting him go on loan. But again, he's being linked with Barcelona and PSG. Kudus and Isak, the problem you've got, bro, that's 200 million. Kroenke's ain't dropping 200 million in January. It's just not happening. And Mbeumo is better than Nelly and Trossard at the moment, certainly on form. Mohamed said, what happened to get into the Champions League and we get world-class players? Shaking my head. Maybe if your ownership are desperate to win. Not under this ownership, people. Joba said, we need to stop being snobs. Liverpool got Mane, Van Dijk and Robertson from Southampton and Hull City, respectively. We can pick up quality. Yeah, I hear you. I suppose the only argument would be Mane and Robertson were more when Liverpool were trying to get back in the Champions League. Van Dijk cost 75 million. Everybody knew about him. We're now trying to win the league. But yeah, I hear your point. You make a good point. Vegas Gunner, Nkunku incoming from Chelsea. I actually like Nkunku, but I don't think we'll get him. We don't actually go to Chelsea and get good players. We get scrubs, We get their scrubs. I'm assuming he said I don't want Sane because he'll be cup tied. I'm sure somebody said the new rule, you can sign 2 players who've played in the Champions League and they won't be cup tied. I think that's what they said. And Grant said, this puts us in a top 4 battle. If we went after Mudryk in January, why wouldn't we spend 80 million on Kudus? Why are you so dismissive with so much at stake? Bro, the Kroenkes, let's be real. Let me tell you something, bro. You ever walked in a shop, expensive shop, seen a really expensive jacket or trainers, maybe some Louis or some Louboutins. You want them, don't you? You're thinking, how can I get them? But maybe we can't afford them. Arsenal love window shopping, people. What Arsenal love saying is, oh, guess what, everybody? We tried to get them, so don't be mad at us. I've said it before. It's like your mum telling you you're having a pizza. You think you're getting Domino's, but she got one from the local shop because it's on sale for £1.29 because it's out of date tomorrow and it tastes like cardboard. Oh, we tried to buy Mudryk for 80 million, but Chelsea had too much money. We couldn't compete. Oh, we really tried to get Caicedo. We even put out stories about, his brothers, but we just couldn't pay the 100 million. Draxler, we couldn't get him. Gonzalo Higuain, we tried. Benzema, we wanted him. This is Arsenal, bro. I'm being dismissive of Kudus because they won't drop 80 million on Kudus in January. It's as simple as that. You know how this ownership operate. We tried. We didn't get the one you really wanted, so we'll get one that you don't actually want. Oh, we tried to get Kudus, so we'll get you Mudryk. You know, that's how they operate. That's how this club operate. Jan and Villa, you've seen it. William Carvalho, we took 5, 6, 7 years to get a defensive midfielder, you know? This is Arsenal, people. This is Arsenal. Anyway, let's focus on the game. Yeah, Friend Zone FC. Friend Zone FC. I don't actually think Kudus is worth 80 million. I'm going to be totally honest. I like Kudus. I think he's a good player. I wouldn't pay 80 million for him. I really wouldn't pay 80 million for him. I don't think he's worth it. If Arsenal, the thing with Arsenal, we can't afford to drop 80 million on a player and he's not a game changer, like, because they won't go and spend 80 million again. So I actually don't think Kudus is worth 80 million, to be honest. He hasn't blown up, you know, he hasn't blown up at West Ham. He's done well. He scored some really good goals. I'd take him. But is he worth 80 million? I don't know. Plus, where do you play him? Is he good on the left? I mean, last season he got 8 goals in 33 games. This season he's got 3 goals. I just don't know if that... I don't know if he's an £80 million player. I'm looking at him at Ajax. His best season was 11 goals in 30 games in the Dutch league. He's not £80 million player to me. I'd pay 50 for him, 55 maybe. I wouldn't pay 80 million for him. Good player, but no, not for me. If you're paying 80 million, get an absolute top player. Anyway, let's go through the game. I'm going to go through it quickly, actually. I'm not going to drag it out. 5-1 victory. Jesus got 2. Havertz, Martinelli, Declan Rice, Ismaila Sarr, by the way, looked a hell of a player the other day. They paid 16 million euros for him. I'm telling you, you could do a lot worse than buying him. He was causing us all sorts of problems the other day as a backup right winger. That would be a great option. Let's go through the player ratings. David Raya. He wanted to make us all nervous by playing out from the back. As I said, I find it difficult to be angry with him doing that because I think he's being encouraged to do that. I thought he made some good saves as well. The goal, I don't think he could do anything about. I give him a 7. I'm not blaming him for playing out from the back under pressure. I think he's being encouraged. BX said nobody wanted Sarr at Watford and Mbeumo is the same. Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe that's the same sort of thing. Lookman would cook in this team, said Ash. BG, yeah, but Curtis, if it's the fans' fault, we know what the Kroenkes are about. Why do we accept it? I'm seeing Spurs fans having a protest. Why can't we? Because most of our fan base, not all, but a lot of them, number one, they love the manager. And, you know, because he says the matchday experience is so good and he's connected us to the players, they won't turn on him. They think he's doing a great job. The other day, they said 5 years of Arteta. People were saying, thank you for bringing my club back and, you know, all of that. So they're not prepared. They think the Kroenkes are... People say in the comments, you can't blame the Kroenkes. Why can't I? They own the business. They hired Edu. They hired Vinay. They hired Arteta. If you're competent owners of a football club and you understand the sport that you're invested in, you're talking about Arsenal worth like 3 billion. If I'm the Kroenkes and Edu comes to me and says, listen, me and Mikel have been speaking, we want to buy Kai Havertz for 65 million, make him the highest paid player at the football club for 5 years. If I understand the sport, I'm turning around and saying, well, actually, bro, I watch Premier League football because I own the club, and Havertz has been awful at Chelsea. You ain't buying him for £65 million and making him the top earner at this football club. So go back and cancel that deal, right? That's what a competent owner should be doing. But he doesn't. He probably doesn't know hardly anything about football. So he says, oh, Havertz, yeah, Champions League winner, there you go, sign him. Sign him. He don't know what he's talking about, that guy. Not for me. So why don't we take Mbeumo and Sane? I don't think they'd go for both. Where do you fit them in? Witz Capone said, facts, Curtis, the Cronkays are the worst problem about be excited. These man are smoking that budgie banter. Bro, if you've got an inexperienced manager that's, in fact, forget inexperienced, he's never done the job in his life. You do not put a sporting director there that's inexperienced and had little to no success. Imagine you going into a job, first day on the job, you've never done this job before in your life, and the person that's showing you around says, do you know what, mate, I've never done it either, we'll just see how it works out. No, they're going to send somebody experienced to say, listen, let me help you. You need a Michael Edwards at the club to guide Arteta on the recruitment, but they didn't do that. So I'm sorry for me, and people will say, oh, I will always go back to the Cronkays. I'm sorry. Always go back to the Cronkays. You've allowed him to be in a situation where he's controlling everything that's happening around him. Steve Round, the most experienced staff member that was around him, he has an argument with him and he gets sacked. So now he's got a bunch of coaches around him that are all probably yes men to Arteta, right? The sporting director was Edu. Edu's done a runner. Nobody can tell me that deal of him leaving happened under normal circumstances. He's either fell out with Arteta or fell out with the owners and probably said, look, I'm getting all the heat for the transfers, yet maybe they're not even his decisions. Maybe he didn't even buy them. Remember ESPN Brazil said that Edu was telling Arsenal, don't sign Mikel Merino. He's 28. He's not the guy we want. Arteta and him was disagreeing. So he's become a mini Wenger. He's going to hire the next sporting director. All of his staff are guys that are looking up to him. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Arteta. And he's got a bunch of players that look up to him as well. And no one's going to put anyone's nose out of joint. And that's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. If you look at it, it's right there in front of us what is happening. Arsene Wenger's deal towards the end got bigger and bigger and bigger because he was the human shield for the Cronkays. We'll pay you a big bag of money. You're going to take all the heat for the small transfer windows for failing to win the title. We'll be in America. You won't see us at the games. We'll be silent. You'll see me at a Nuggets game with a cap on, high-fiving Jokic, right? And we'll give you £15 million a season. The same thing as Mikel Arteta. Listen, Mikel, we know you nearly won the league last year. You only missed out by 2 points. What a serious ownership would do is say, what do you need to win the league next season? I need a left winger, I need a striker, and I need a left back. Get the best available in class that we can afford that's realistic. Okay, I'll buy Osimhen for 65 million. That's a good deal. Osimhen's banging goals in at Galatasaray. I'll buy Ivan Toney, 20 goals. I'll try and get Isak. We'll go for Nico Williams. We'll go for Kvara. We'll go for Rodrigo. And we'll get the left back. But instead, the Kroenke said, Mikel, listen, we spent 200 million last year. Things are a bit tight this year. So what we're going to do, we're going to give you 100 million. Go and get 3 or 4 players. Right, we know that probably won't win you the league this year because you're not going to get 3 or 4 quality players for 100 mil. Get a few bits and bobs, and what we'll do, we'll reward you with a £7.5 million pay rise a season. And when everyone starts moaning and calling for the Cronkays, you cover it up. And Arteta went, thank you very much, £15 million a season. I'll cap for you guys. Do interviews saying you're the best owners in the world, even though he's been at Man City and seen them win everything. And we're back to where we were before. Top 4 battles and the manager covering up for the Cronkays. And that conversation, when you try and have that conversation online, people can't stand it. Oh, but the Cronkays have spent loads of money. Spending a lot of money does not make you a good ownership. Spending money and giving it to the right people is what makes you a good ownership. Any owner can just throw money at it. Look how much money Everton have spent. They've spent an absolute fortune. They've built a new stadium. Look at Tottenham. They spent $1 billion on that stadium. They still ain't winning nothing. They're sacking managers left, right and centre. Why? Because their recruitment ain't good enough. They're buying players like Richarlison. for 65 million. Not good enough. You ain't winning nothing with them guys. It all comes down to recruitment. Manchester City have dominated this generation. They've got the money, they've got the manager, they've got the recruitment, the director, the sporting director, and the ownership. And it's all clicked. Why have Liverpool won every trophy despite not having the money of Manchester City? It's because, and their owners are not big spenders either. They got Michael Edwards. They picked up Mane for 35 million, Salah for 35, Firmino for 35, Fabinho for 40 mil, Robertson 8 mil, Trent out the youth team, Van Dijk 75, 60 million on Alisson, 35 million on Konate. The recruitment is everything. Until people get that in these big football clubs, you will not win anything. Manchester United have spent way more money than Arsenal. And look at the state of them. Why? Because they do not have a competent sporting director. Right? They thought they had one. They got rid of him. Then they brought in Ashworth. He's arguing with the people in the club. They've got rid of him. Now they're going to bring another one. The sporting director is almost as important as the manager in modern day football. 10, 15 years ago, Wenger, Ferguson, Mourinho, they were dictating who got signed. I want him, sign him. Now the sporting director's saying, you might not be here as the manager for the next 7 or 8 years. So we need to sign a player that, even if you're not here, we still want at the football club. Arsenal's biggest mistake has been having an inexperienced sporting director next to Arteta. And this is why, if Arteta hires this guy from Sociedad in the summer, who he's worked with, you're going to get another yes man at the football club who ain't going to argue with Arteta and will be in the same place. David Dein used to argue with Arsene Wenger over players. Strong personality, leadership, great relationships with Europe's big clubs. That's why we signed stars. Or turn them into stars. And that's the problem with Arsenal. Let's be totally honest, people. We all thought the Champions League was the promised land. We're picking fresh fruit off the tree. We followed the yellow brick road. How many signings since we've got in the Champions League have genuinely excited you as a fan base? Like, where you're so excited. Declan Rice was a very good signing. Timber's become a very good signing. Apart from that, since we've been back in the Champions League, Havertz, no. Marino, no. Do you know what I mean? How many? David Raya's become a good signing. He wasn't exciting at the time, but fair play. So, they what this ownership do, they just keep selling us a lie. Yeah, we're leaving Highbury so that we can compete with the best in Europe. Okay, we left Highbury, our spiritual home, went to the Emirates. We're sitting here with a few FA Cups. So you lied to us. You lied to us. You told us when we went here we were going to start cleaning up. We ain't cleaned up nothing. We won a few FA Cups. Now you're telling us be excited. Be excited about what? Exactly. Raheem Sterling and Mikel Merino. And Calafiori, a.k.a. the Italian Central Seat. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not excited. No, do you know what, bro? Honestly, this ain't even Arsenal therapy. We won 5-1. But I'm sorry. These Kroenkes, I don't know how they get away with it. I don't understand. It baffles me. I've put tweets out before thinking, let me put a tweet out about the Kroenkes and see what the fan base say. And they defend them. Oh, since taking full ownership, they've spent money. What? Is that enough then? You think that's enough? You think spending money alone? If I said to you now, go out, there's $4,000, go and buy an outfit tonight. Just because you spent $4,000 on it, don't mean you're going to look good. It's all about swagger. It's all about structure. Do the jeans match the footwear? Does the shirt fit? How are you wearing it? You tucking it in? You wearing a belt? You wearing a watch? Swag. Arsenal got no swag right now. People just spending money. Where's the swag? You know what I mean? Ivisu jeans, boot cuts. Ain't working no more, people. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sorry. I was supposed to talk about the 5-1. You mentioned the Kroenkes. I lost my head. Don said we won. You are making it like we lost. No, but listen. I'm happy about the win. I'm not happy about the bigger picture of the football club. And when I get drawn into... When somebody mentions the Kroenkes, I go off topic and start ranting because I don't understand how they get away with it. They are absolutely And do you know what? I don't even really blame Josh. He's just daddy's son, isn't he? He's going to do what daddy tells him. He's the face of the club. When I met Josh, I said, we need a Jokic. He said, well, we'll see what happens, all of that business. All right, cheers, mate. You got Marino. That ain't Jokic. That ain't Jokic. Yeah, I said, we need a Jokic, and you sign Marino. That ain't Jokic, bro. Let me tell you, for my NBA fans, you didn't bring me Jokic. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry. I apologise. We won 5-1. Christmas is coming up. I'm having a meltdown about the Kroenkes. They wind me up. Anyway, I gave David Raya a 7. Timber gets a 6 for me. I thought he was sloppy in possession. He got booked as well, and he came off. He wasn't terrible, but I think he was pretty average for him. I did try my best. I can be taken off topic very easily when it comes to the Kroenkes. I don't understand how they get away with it. Curtis spoke to Josh in American. Josh responded in French. He basically mumbled and just said, let's see what happens. Like, yeah, I saw what happened, mate. It didn't look good. Marino and Central C and Vibes Cartel. Ian said Kroenke's main money is NFL, not football. Inexperienced owners, directors and manager. How are players going to win a title? Exactly. Where's the leadership? Where's the winning mentality coming from? Josh runs everything. He does, but let's be real. He's still got to go to his dad to get things signed off. Timber gets a 6. Lewis Skelly, for me, I think he was our best defender. I'm going to give Lewis Skelly 8 out of 10. 18 years of age. Saliba having a shocker. Timber playing average. Gabriel got better second half. Lewis Skelly is so good on the ball. Lewis Skelly, right, and I want you to listen to me on this. I haven't seen him yet too much against the dynamic, better wingers. Salahs and all them guys on the right. Lewis Skelly might end up being our best left-back. Lewis Skelly might end up being our best left-back. I don't care how much Calafiori cost. I don't think he's a left-back. I'm very impressed with Lewis Skelly. Quality on the ball. Had a good little battle with Mateta. I think he's class. I think he's absolute class. And Ross, how crazy is that? You've got Tierney, 25 million, Zinchenko, 35, and Calafiori at 40. And yet Lewis Skelly, 18 years of age, might be better than all three of them. Kivior, 27 million, was playing there as well. Yeah, you're right, J10. It would be nice to see him in midfield, actually, but I think he could play left-back. So, 8 out of 10 for him. Saliba, 5 out of 10, I'm sorry. I love the guy. Best defender. I think Mateta intimidated him a little bit. His mistake should have led to a goal. Mateta missed a one-on-one. And I'm sorry, the goal Ismail Assar, he thought his aura alone was going to stop the ball from going, and he just stood in front of him. Stick your leg out, bro. Listen, Saliba, I'm not going to have a go at you too much, because you're that guy. We all love you in the fan base. Yo, brother, fix up. Is Real Madrid on your mind or something? You had a stinker. Kylian Mbappe's birthday was the night before. You looked like you flew back from Paris Saturday morning after 4 bottles of champagne. It's one of them days, people. Sizzler Kalanji. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days. Dry cry. I think I'm being fair giving him a 5. I thought he had a stinker. He got better second half. That first half was dreadful. I'll give him a 5. Probably, aura attacks people. Gabriel gets... he hit the bar with a header. He played that great ball over the top for Trossard. I'll give him a 6.5. Do I give him a 7? 6.5 or 7. He got turned in the first half, gave away a yellow. I'll give him 6.5. Vocals are back, people. Merry Christmas. I think today we've sang Beyonce and Sizzler Kalanji. Anything at any time can happen, people. 6.5, 7 for Gabriel. Played an amazing pass over the top for Trossard. Trossard pulled it back. Jesus should have scored. Then Rice shoots and Martinelli scores. So we'll give Gabriel a 7. We'll give him a 7. He improved massively second half. Let's go into midfield. We'll start with Partey. I thought second half Partey was excellent. I thought first half he was a little bit isolated. One thing's for sure, if you're playing against an energetic midfield, you do not want Thomas Partey as a lone six. In the first half, no. You do not want Partey as a lone six. Second half, put Declan Rice next to him, bossed it. I'm giving him 7.5. I thought he was quality. Partey's been our best midfielder this season. No doubt about it. He's just comfortable on the ball. You can tell he's played in La Liga. He's class. 7.5 for Partey. He plays that ball quickly forward and helps the likes of Odegaard. Let's go to Martin Odegaard. He worked hard. He put a good challenge in the second half that I couldn't believe. I was like, finally, he's tackled someone. I don't think he was great. I'll probably give Odegaard 6.5. He put in a shift. He wasn't as effective on the ball. I don't think he got any assist. Didn't really want to shoot. I'll give him 6.5. He was okay. I was going to give him 6. I didn't really see him, to be honest. And I'm going to give him a 6. I can't really remember him doing much. But the ball goes through him a lot. 6.5, 6. It's Christmas. We'll give him 6.5. We'll give him 6.5. But he didn't do much. It's not a good game for him. South London, 5:30 kickoff. Nah, he weren't up for the fight, really. Kai Havertz, good poacher's goal. Reacted well. Wasn't involved in the game. The goal covers up a very, very quiet performance. I'm going to give Havertz a 6 because he scored and goals win games. Do I give him a 6? He was pretty non-existent. 5.5, 6. I don't think he did hardly anything in that first half. I can barely remember him touching the ball. At one stage, I sat there and I thought, is he even on the pitch? He pops up with a goal, does the baby celebration. He was playing hide and seek on the pitch. I couldn't find him. Listen, he scored. I'll give him a 6. It's Christmas. He scored. He just didn't do it. At the end of the day, Havertz shouldn't be in midfield. You have to blame the manager for that more than him. Havertz in midfield does not work. Right? So him getting picked there, it's not his fault. He scored a goal in an Everybody Eats game, 5. I hear you. All you can eat restaurant. I'm beginning to think you had your hopes up Spuds would take. But listen, as I say, LSU, hope and belief is different. I didn't believe Tottenham would do anything against Liverpool yesterday. But that little bit of hope. Give me hope, Joanna, give me. That little bit of hope, you're thinking, all right, maybe them scrubs can get a draw. But they were dreadful. I told you, LSU, I don't lie. I'm very open with the community. If you said to me how you're feeling about Arsenal, I'd say I'm delighted. We've just won 5-1. Gabriel Jesus can't stop scoring. And we're in the title race. But then the other side of me would say, Saka's out for 8 weeks. They probably won't sign anybody in the January transfer window. And 9 days ago, we drew 0-0 to Everton at home. That's the problem with Arsenal. You know, there's as much frustration as there is jubilation. And I watched Liverpool yesterday, and I'll be honest, I just thought they look like they're going to win it. And I'm just frustrated that we're not closer to them. And then now the Saka injury, that's even worse. But we'll see. Let's go to the front three. Saka gets a standard 6, came off injured. There's nothing to say. He's out for 8 weeks for anyone who's just tuned in. He's torn his hamstring. We've got a problem because this team is not built for an injury to a key player. When one big player gets injured, we have a meltdown, you know. Odegaard comes out, it's a crisis. But let's see. It sounds crazy, but Saka might be more replaceable than Odegaard because I don't feel we have any creativity without Odegaard in midfield. Without Saka, at least there's wingers. And and they need to hit some sort of form. Gabriel Martinelli, once again, I don't think he played that well, but the stat padding gets you a decent performance. He did get past Mitchell once with a nice run, crossed it in, Jesus hit the post, then Havertz scored, and then Martinelli got a tap in. I'll give him 7.5. Goals win games, goal and an assist. It's a stat pad performance. He didn't play well, though. And he needs to start playing well. But I just hope him playing on the right wing can inspire him. Just run past him and cross it. I think it looks better. How many times have I said on this stream over the years, why did Martinelli and Saka never swap wing? Why do they have to stay right and left? Why can't Martinelli go on the right and run on the outside? So he's got to step up now. He's got to step up. I'm looking at Martinelli saying, it's now or never for you to rescue your career. Go on that right for 2 months, run past every left-back in the league and cross it in. You don't have to think. You don't have to go 3 different directions. Just run past him and whip the cross in for 8 weeks until Saka comes back. If you can't do that, you are done at this football club. Simple as that. No more babysitting. No more nursery looking after babies. You haven't been playing well on the left. I saw his interview with Ian Wright. It was emotional. Wright has been encouraging him in the DMs. I love it. I'm here for it. I want you to have a good career at Arsenal. But if you don't do something in these 8 weeks, end it in the summer. We can't carry this guy anymore, despite what he's done in the past. It's now or never for Martinelli. I'll give you 7.5 because of the goal and assist. Build on it. Gabriel Jesus scored 2, should have scored about 4. However, at the moment, that's the guy, that's the striker. Is this a purple patch or is this the rebirth of Jesus? Gabriel Jesus, the rebirth. We were looking for a striker all along. He was right there, hidden behind those cheekbones. He's come back to life, people. The cheekbones are smiling. The hairline is impeccable. 9 for Jesus for the resurrection. He's back to life, 5 goals in a week. I bet he wishes we played Crystal Palace every single week. I said one thing last week, and I'll say the same thing again. Jesus, brilliant. Love to see it. Hope the form continues. Go and buy a new striker. I don't want anybody at the football club thinking because Jesus has scored 5 goals in 2 games that we don't need to do business. We need to do business. I said the other day also that Jesus needs to push himself ahead of Havertz and let people know, yo, I'm a better striker than Havertz. If a striker's got to get sold, he's got to go. The second goal was outstanding. But I'm quite harsh, people. I'm fair, but harsh. I love what we've seen of Jesus in the last 2 games. I'm not forgetting you ain't scored a Premier League goal since January, bro. Let me tell you that. I'm not going to forget that. So this needs to be more than a purple patch. I need to see goals. Ipswich at home next. Should be goals again. So build on it. I hope he keeps doing well. I think Jesus is a better striker than Havertz. But his form has not reflected that. And you've ended up losing your place to Havertz, which is pretty embarrassing. The guy's an attacking midfielder. So he needs to prove himself. Man of the match for the second game in a week. Should have had a hattie, by the way. Should have definitely scored a hat-trick. But well done to him. Keep it going. Nice to see him scoring. Let's go to the bench. Trossard. Decent cross. Marino. Can't remember him on the ball much. Waneri. Declan Rice. 8 out of 10. What a goal. Love the celebration. Love the goal. Deckers came on. Gave us that security. It's like having fully comp on your insurance on your car. Anything happens, you know you're covered. Courtesy cars being sent. They're collecting it. Everything's covered. If I'm giving Declan Rice a 9, I thought it was outstanding. Our midfield was wide open. It was like a bagel. He came on, sorted it out. Beautiful goal. Declan Rice. That's the Deckers we want to see, people. Have you seen the pic of Jesus being born in a barn with Mikel Odegaard and Saka as the 3 wise men? I saw it. I love it. I think we all, I honestly think, right, every Arsenal fan likes Gabriel Jesus. I genuinely believe it. I even said, like, you know, on the tour speaking to him, his attitude, he's a likeable character. He seems to love the club. You can tell it means a lot to him. There's only so much sympathy you can have for the guy. The guy's on 250 a week. Do you know what I mean? We're working every day to try and make an honest living. This guy gets 250 for not scoring. Realistically, Jesus has been paid from the end of January to near the end of December to not do his job. He's been paid to not do his job. His job's to score and he hasn't scored. Imagine going to your job and not doing your job and being paid well for it. You're a very lucky person, you know? And yeah, I had this picture up. I'm shameless. R9 settings, Gabriel Jesus. This week he's been unbelievable. So, yeah, man. Listen, I hope it continues. I hope it continues. He hits form and, you know, he can keep it going until the end of the season. That's what we want, ideally, from him. And just briefly, the other reason for the Declan Rice 9 out of 10. As you know, big NBA fan. He hit the night-night celebration. Steph Curry. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Enough said, people. Enough said. Game over, Palace. Get yourself to sleep. Do one. What a finish, by the way. Opens up. Bends it in the bottom corner. Love to see it. Consider your actions. Listen, man. We're here for it, people. Jesus, I said drop him in the rainforest. Scores 5 goals. R9 Photoshop pictures. The game is the game. Declan, Steph Curry would have been proud. Exactly. So, yeah. Mikel Arteta. We'll give Arteta a 5-1. I give him an 8 out of 10. I give him an 8 out of 10, you know? I give him an 8. We might do an NBA stream Christmas, yeah. I'll be up all day Christmas Day anyway and late night, so yeah. Let me read out these super chats. There's a few here. IA, big up to the community. We need to do whatever it takes to get Rodrigo from Real Madrid. Short-term right-wing cover and left wing. Those players are just so hard to get in January, but yeah. That would be my ideal winger signing. I love Rodrigo. Great player. Grant said, Kai, remember they wanted 65 million. We said 30. They countered with 65. We said 40. They said no 65. We said 50. They said 65. We go, okay, 65. That's the Edu effect, my friend. That's the Edu effect. Dr. Barron, what's good, Big C? Imagine red and white holdings with David Dean and Usmanov being the majority shareholders. That's what would have made the Emirates great. I'm going to try not to get caught up in that comment again because I'll spend the next 10 minutes talking about the Kroenkes again. But let's just put it this way, right? And this is factual. There was a belief inside the football club, and this is factual. Do your research. It's all there online. Arsenal had this thing of like, oh, Chelsea with the ownership and the money, and we're not going to do it that way. So, Usmanov was pushed out of the football club. He ended up at Everton. He wasn't even the owner of Everton. He was just a majority shareholder. One of the majority shareholders. Usmanov was richer at the time than Abramovich. Usmanov wanted to buy Arsenal and they refused to sell him. Now, maybe Usmanov, some of his money might have been dirty. But if it was that dirty, why did you let him buy part of the club but weren't willing to sell all of the club? Oh, we'll take some of your money but not all of your money. Now, don't get me wrong. We might have ended up in a nasty situation down the line where Usmanov got sanctioned the way Abramovich got sanctioned. But would you have taken a few sanctions for a couple Champions Leagues? Couple league titles? I would have taken it, people. Let's not start sitting here saying that the Kroenkes are completely clean. They had a trophy hunting channel on television. Walking around hunting animals and just shooting them down with shotguns. So let's not pretend, oh, we can't take Russian money because it might be dirty, but we'll take the Kroenkes money and it's completely clean. It's not. So for me, people, if Usmanov would have took a sanction 10 years down the line, but I'm sitting there with a Champions League and 2 Premier Leagues and 5 FA Cups, sanction his arse, I would have taken it. because I would have been running. I'd still be running with that Champions League win. So that's my opinion. Not everybody will agree, but go get De La Fuente. Just won the Euros with Spain. He did a great job, man. Really good job. Bro, he was just licking down wildlife, just calmly, and just holding them up on TV with that smile like, look at me with this animal hanging upside down. It was all mad. It was all mad, people, I'm telling you. And I'm not saying, listen, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but if you're going to have the wrong ownership, I'd rather take the one that can win us a league title. And Usmanov hasn't actually been sanctioned, by the way, as of yet. And he was involved with Everton. So let's not pretend that every Russian billionaire, is dirty in what they're doing. Abramovich, yeah, he got caught with all sorts going off. Fail to prepare to fail. Exactly. You're right, when he gets injured, you're in a crisis. Yogi Life, buy Marino and Sterling. Dumbest decision. If we bought Isak, Mitoma and Neto over the past 2 windows, instead, Donkey, we win the league, 100%. Ghost Nathan, Curtis, give yourself 3-minute timeout for that rant. Okay, I'll be backing up. Nah, I'm joking. I probably should, but Jesus is back and we want him out, says highly wanted criminal. He also said, sanctioned me about a couple of Champions Leagues and Prems. I would rather cry in a Bugatti all day. Exactly, man. And Ricky said, see where Chelsea are in the table. No way they solve our problems by giving Nkunku. Only give us problems like Sterling and Havertz. We actually never get no one decent off them, do we? Let's be honest. Peter Cech when he was an old man. Jorginho washed up. Havertz a donkey. Sterling washed. David Luiz washed. We've had Yossi Benayoun washed. And Gallas was a crybaby. We haven't had one good signing. And Willian ended up looking like a Teletubby. Tinky Winky. HR said, can Arsenal beat Liverpool if they face each other? Yeah. One-off game, we can beat Liverpool. The toughest thing about playing Liverpool is Anfield. Play them in a final at Wembley. Easier to beat them. We love all the... I'm telling you, we must have emptied the recycling bin at Chelsea about 4 times. Anything we can take out. Well, when they see us, it's like the dustbin man turning up. Yeah, I got a bag full there, mate. I think Mudrik's in there. Havertz is in there if you want him. And we pay top dollar for them as well. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to finish off, people, with some Christmas waffle from the manager. Don't forget, just as a reminder, I said it at the start of the show, I'm going to put a community post up later today, in the next hour. All I want you to do is comment on the post. Basically, if I give you the breakdown again, 2 VIP tickets to Arsenal against Ipswich, 27th of December, 8:15 kickoff at the Emirates. I'm going to put a post out. You've got to comment on it. Anything. Put anything. You can put a dot. You can write something. Do anything. Comment on it if you are able to go to the game. I don't want somebody to win it who can't go to the game and then we've all wasted everyone's time. Then I've got to put it back out again. Box tickets, £450 each. Food, drink, leather seat, happy days. What more do you want? Looking after the community. Community post going up in the next hour. Comment underneath it if you can get to the game on the 27th. It's on my page. So go on Curtis Shaw TV. Next to videos, it says community. Click on that. Comment on that post. Put anything. And then I know that you can get to the game. What I don't want to do is somebody wins the tickets. You can't get to the game and we've wasted a great prize that somebody could have gone to instead. So I'll put a community post out in the next hour. Comment on it. That'll get you in the draw. We'll announce it on Christmas Day, people. Go and enjoy the game. No website, man. This is your website, people. You know me, I'm old school, people. I'm old school. You know what I mean? Hotmail account, no dishwasher, no website, bro. No website. Ruiz was good. He was the captain. Saka needed. Oh, David Luiz, you were saying. Ruiz? David Luiz. He was good. He was the captain. He was a loose cannon, though. He's probably the best of a bad bunch, to be honest. Not going to lie, Sane is a 1v1 beast. He's mad, bro. That's why I want Sane over Mbeumo, because I think he's more ferocious pace-wise. Ugur D said, he's become a new member. Big up your damn self, bro. Unknown C said, big up Curtis for taking care of the community. If only the Cronkays would do the same. That's all we're waiting for. Let's see what they're about now. We need a winger and a striker. Let's see if you do anything. Here we go. Mikel. It's waffle settings. I'm not going to take long reading this, people. We've been live already for an hour and 15. Try and stay awake. And let's go through it quick. He never confirmed how long Saka was out for, but online they're saying 8 weeks. On Saka, he said it's not looking good. He's going to be out for many weeks. How many weeks will he be out for? He says many. I cannot be specific because I don't know, but it will be many weeks. How big a blow is it for us? It's a huge one. Obviously, he's a big player. You have to see the impact he has on the team. It's going to be a really good exercise for us all to think about ways to overcome the challenge. We've already had a lot in the season. Yeah, I didn't even say it, did I? It's that time, people. Coma music. Mickey Roast, the boss. We've got no Saka, but don't worry. We've got Raheem Sterling. Oh, on Raheem Sterling, he's going to be out for weeks. He needs further testing tomorrow to understand the extent of the injury. It's his knee. We have to wait another 24 hours. But unfortunately, he's going to be out for a while. Hey, no problem, people. No problem. Our backup right winger's injured without even playing football. Do you know one of the best suggestions that I've seen? And I've seen stories about it online. Riyad Mahrez on a short-term loan. RR said it there. There's a belief he could potentially be available for a couple of months. That would be... Now, when do Arsenal ever do things like that and you go, what a smart signing that is? Imagine getting Mahrez on loan for like 3 months to get us through it. That'd be a brilliant deal. Quality player, brilliant on the ball. Would suit our style of play, but they won't do it. They just won't do it. On 2 right wingers being unavailable, he says we have to look internally at what we have and be creative. Do a very good exercise again. We can mould the squad. We have to adapt. I don't want to read it. On if he will sign a player in that position, he said, I don't know. My intention right now is within the team to get the best out of what we have. What is outside is not our control. On Gabriel Jesus finding form, he's certainly done that in the last 2 games. He's not going to be just in isolation. He's not going to be just in isolation a player. The way we've done it has been collective. On Declan Rice's role as a 6 or an 8, with the squad we have, he needs to be versatile. The qualities he has, with the brain he has, with the age he has, versatile because he can offer so much to the needs in the squad. Putting Declan just in a box, in my opinion, doesn't work. And if he's better in one position than the other, he said, no, it depends. He's going to play 6 against the low block in relation to what the 9 does. If they stay with him or go to the centre-back, he's going to have one role. Let's skip it. He's overcomplicating it, people. Mahrez would be a great signing. Mahrez would be a great... Guy Fawkes said, Curtis, you're a Harlem Globetrotter. Man's acting like Sane and Mahrez haven't dipped since they were in the Prem. They've dipped, but they're better than what we've got, bro. A 90% Sane is better than anything we've got on the right. A 90% Mahrez is better than anything we've got on the right with Saka being out. I'm already struggling to get through this press conference, I'm not going to lie. On knowing when to praise and when to be tough, that's a great point. When I talked about the priorities the other day in my 5 years, the way they've been shifted, the problem is what you mentioned because we realise... Let's skip it. What he makes of Ipswich, very impressed. I like Kieran. I have a lot of people that know him closely. They always say great things. We're not bothered. And if Saka will be back before the end of the season, in football with injuries, I wouldn't put my 10 fingers there. I wouldn't want to put my 10 fingers there. No diddy, people. But I would be very optimistic he's going to be back well before the end of the season. Yeah, he doesn't want to put his 10 fingers there, people. Never a smart thing. Not 10 fingers. Anyway, let's move on. That's a big pause, by the way. How difficult will it be for him not to play? It's part of the development. At some stage, you were going to get injured. Unfortunately, badly. It could have been worse. It could have been something else. Let's move on from that. On our ability to score more goals, he said nobody is right on whether we need to buy a striker or not. If you are saying that, you might be right because someone comes in and scores 40 goals. But what we have is what we have, and we're really happy with the play. Man said nobody is right and then said... You might be right because someone could, maybe saying if they score 40, they're right. And if there's more pressure on us going to the game after Liverpool beat Tottenham, he said, obviously the margins are not big, especially with the results. How he challenges players to step up in Saka's absence and putting ideas together. Yep, good one. And if we have the right balance between defensive and attack, it's always about that. Blah, blah, blah. We score goals when Kai was on the pitch. There you go. You just knew it. You just knew it. He wouldn't get through a press conference with making it about the stepson. We score goals when Declan was on the pitch. I've heard enough. On if this period will make him a better coach finding solutions without Saka, he said, I think so, yes. I can't read it. I'm honestly in pain. And if we still have the ability to do something in January if we need to, he says, yes, the preparation is done. We are ready if something happens. Obviously, we didn't predict the situation with Bukayo and Raheem. At the same time, we predicted more if something else happened. In the defensive line, there's a shock. He wanted another left back. Who would have thought Arteta doesn't want attacking players? Of course, defenders, and more defenders. I need more left backs. This waffle is painful today. Right, move on. I'm in agony reading this on whether the fixture schedule is an issue for the injuries. Yeah, everyone's got the same thing, mate. Probably more the accumulation. You know, for example, Bukayo and Declan, they've played 130 games in 2 seasons. So guess what, mate? When you've got a Carabao Cup game at home against Bolton Wanderers, don't start Bukayo Saka. How about that? They're sick from bottom in League One and you started Saka. Make it make sense. You didn't need to play him 130 games in 2 seasons. But anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. And what could work to make the schedule more sustainable? Again, improve the athletes, have bigger squads. And if the governing bodies are listening, I hope they are listening. Whoever is in charge, can they do something? That's what I say about Arsenal. And whether the issue will get addressed, yes, but there is always but that is that. All right, skip it. And if Saka's injury was preventable, he said probably. All right, well, why didn't you stop it then? On the option of Martinelli on the right, he said, yep, that's the first one we decided, especially because he's played there. Played the last game there. I think he did really well. He scored a goal and created an assist. On the candidates to replace Saka, he said Gabriel Jesus, Ethan Nwaneri, Leandro Trossard, and Kai Havertz. Oh, my God. Havertz on the right. I can't deal with that. How Saka reacted to the injury news. Stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. Oh, he was doing cartwheels, mate. He was so happy that he's pulled his hamstring. Tell you what, I'll go university for 4 years. I'll ask the manager how the player has reacted to tearing his hamstring. Yeah, I'll tell you what, mate. He threw a party last night. I pulled my hamstring party. As an American fan, time to get Pulisic for cover, says Carl. He's doing well at Milan. I'm out of here, people. Can't take no more of that waffle. Big up to everyone locked in. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe, community page in the next hour. I'll put the post up. Comment on it if you can make it to the Arsenal v Ipswich game. We'll pick a winner Christmas Day. I'll be back tomorrow. Saka's got a party in central London celebrating his torn hamstring, according to this clown in the press conference. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. Leroy Sane or Mbeumo? 52% say Mbeumo. Fair play. Fair play, people. I personally would have gone for Leroy, but nah, listen, fair play. Do what you got to do. You want Mbeumo? I would have gone for Leroy, but maybe Leroy Sané is a bit washed up now, and the wages are massive as well. So you're going for Mbeumo. Listen, I'll say it again. Merry Christmas, just in case I don't see you guys in the live before the next couple of streams. But get involved in the community page for the competition, and we'll give that away on Christmas Day. All you got to do, go on the YouTube channel, click on it. Next to videos, it says community, where I can put posts, and it will be there. And then click on that. Just comment anything you want on there. Say Merry Christmas. Say anything you want, as long as you can make it to the game on the 27th, 8:15 kickoff. Hit the like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big up yourselves. Merry Christmas. I'll see you all tomorrow. And we're out of here, people. Bless.